Eastern time, and I think we sold, 8 or 10.
Right.
Well, we're at like 30 plus now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do the math on that. So, and as we get into next hour and I do the full presentation, you better get on the phone. We're down to maybe 7 and a half dozen coins is all there is. Now, a last call. So, you got 2 minutes. I got 10 of these. So this is the SP coin. So this is the West Point Minted Gold Eagle from last year from the United States Mint, sold out. So gold recently has gone up about 25%. So my response to that is to take the biggest gold coin that I currently have in stock and reduce the price 20%. Okay. So gold's gone up 25%, gone up hundreds and hundreds of dollars an ounce from when this was released right here. And so what I did is I did a feature price. Now this is my first day of issue. There's 198 in the limited edition. I have 10 left.
Wow.
I have 10 left. This is 1 ounce of pure gold. This is 1 ounce of pure gold. There it is. I have 10 left. That is it in the entire edition. And I've got 10 of the 198, 1 ounce pure gold. Now, do not confuse this with the regular issue American Gold Eagle. Okay, that is the mint state coin. This is the special coin done by the United States Mint. The mintage on this coin is only like 7,000 coins.
Oh, really?
A little over 7,000 coins, as opposed to the regular Gold Eagle, which is a couple 100,000.
Okay.
So this is significantly rare. As a matter of fact, this is one of the, I think probably one of the 10 rarest gold coins made by the United States government in the last 100 years. And so my response, once again, is let's go ahead and take $700 off the price, but only for the final 10 coins that I have. Only for the final 10 coins that I have. Great opportunity, great numismatic value, fantastic, amazing intrinsic value. In other words, the value of the gold contained.
Well, obviously you will not be seeing the likes of that again. So if you're watching, there are a lot of opportunistic buys. And remember, we're running the entire breadth of coin collecting in addition to that education that Mike provides. 30-day return policy, 630869. The proof set.
The wall of coins.
The wall of coins is right.
Low